So let's get to the questions because I don't want to take up your time. So that question that I was asking you is, what questions can you ask to start digging to find your new consultant's emotional reason?
Okay, so I'm gonna get a reframe of the word digging because it sounds kind of a little harsh, and no offense, we don't know. I teach a lot about enlightened vocabulary, and words have different kinds of meanings. So the questions that you can ask to support that person in having more understanding of self and understanding of their emotional why, you can begin looking at what brought you to this company in the first place. What brought you to Heritage Makers? And usually they say, well, I love the product, or I like it. So they talk about a very superficial thing. And that gives you an indication that they really don't know their emotional why. If they didn't know it then, they probably don't know it now. So what would be a reason for you to be here now? And give me, instead of something that is a thing, I'm going to ask you to bring forth a feeling. So tell me, what is it that you're looking for now? This is the only why question you get to ask. Why are you here today? Well, because I want to put my children through college. And what is important about you putting your children through college? Well, I don't want them to struggle. Tell me more about that. Well, I was told all my life that we couldn't afford it. I couldn't go to college. Just never plan on it because it wasn't going to happen. And I always felt like if I wanted to go, that I could have had an opportunity if someone would have encouraged me to do so. So I want to encourage my children, if that's what they want, or if it's a trade school, or if it's getting started in the direct selling profession, whatever it is, I want to know I supported them so they would believe that anything is possible if you're committed. So it's a whole far swing from where she began. And by the way, I had a woman that one time said, I've lost my passion. I've been sitting. I'm stuck. And what it came down to was that was hers, was she'd wanted to put her children through college. And the last thing I said was, well, when did your last child finish college? 5 years ago. And how long have you been at this place of stuck? Ding, 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 ding. 5 years. So you have to look at your emotional why at a minimum of annually. And whenever there's a major thing going on in your life, a divorce, an empty nester, a death of your parent, your child, any major event, you better go back and look again. Because if you've lost that why, you've lost your passion with it. And what else did you come up with, Patty?
That's awesome. I would love, there's a few more questions on here. One of the things, again, I just want to invite anyone who's on the call, if you're interested in having that live coaching so she can interact with you, please go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll watch for that. And that will give you that real, you're leaders here, and you have your personal business that you're working, so your own personal challenges, but you also have the challenges with your team. So this is a great opportunity for you to have that live coaching. So if anyone can get to that, then that would be great. All right, we have Lisa Tucker. I'm going to see if our little hands here work. Lisa, are you there?
Okay, Lisa, you have to have a microphone. You're there? Lisa, you have to have either a microphone and a speaker, or you've got to have entered your PIN number. Can we hear you, Lisa? It sounds like you might have shown up. Lisa.
Okay.
We are getting some background noise. It's not Lisa, but we're getting some background noise. Yep.
Who was that?
Am I unmuted? Oh, sorry. I'm just on my computer. I didn't expect to actually have you call on me.
That's
okay. Well, we're glad you're there, and I don't know who you are, but do you have anything, a question or a comment or anything that I can support you with?
I'm just so excited to listen to you. I actually do a lot of coaching in my professional life at work, but I don't know why I've never applied the same techniques to my team before. It's kind of an eye-opening experience for me.
Oh, that is good. And, that's real common, is that people think that our business is so different and everything is so different. It really, you can transfer wisdom, experience, and knowledge from any area of your life. And what you're going to notice at this event, and this is why it's so important to get these, young folks and new people in the business there, because everything that we teach is about your business and your life, about your family, about your relationships. It applies all the way around. So I'm so happy that you made that discovery, because you can start immediately in coaching people. So congratulations.
It's very exciting, and I'm really excited to be in the company when I am, because I think we're on the verge of something huge, and it's very exciting to just watch. So
congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks.
So we'll try putting her, you can put her back on mute, and then and we'll see if there's another.
Kathleen, tell us here. Kathleen, can you speak? Can we hear you?
Kathleen, if you have your mute button on your phone or on your computer, we aren't going to be able to hear you when we unmute you.
I'm
there she
unmuted.
Is.
Okay, here
yes,
you go.
we can hear you.
Thank you. So, Kathleen, did you have a question or a comment?
I did. I had a question. I've been sponsoring a little bit more lately than I had in a little bit of a while, and I'm struggling with the initial excitement when somebody signs up, and then there seems to be a short lull soon after. And is it something that I'm not doing, or is it something that they're thinking that I could help with, or there just seems to be like they get real excited, they sign up, and then maybe take a step back?
Mm-hmm. So Kathleen, first of all, I'm going to tell you something that's important to understand about coaching. Coaching is not a place where you fix people because they're not broken, and it's not a place where you come with all the answers and the solutions. It's helping that person to discover. So what I'm going to do, I could certainly go right into training and train some things and throw in a few questions so it feels like I'm coaching, when in reality, I want to do true coaching for you. And if we're not getting there, because there is a blind spot, then I may put on my training hat for a minute and go that direction. Are you okay with that, Kathleen?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Kathleen, tell me what makes those people excited when they first get started?
Well, most of them are either clients I've met, or I've helped them make a project that was really meaningful to their families, and they just were excited about the whole product itself first and what it meant at the time to them personally.
Mm-hmm. So let's just go back to that for just a moment. So what I heard you say was that they were very excited about the product. How else can they get the product besides becoming a consultant?
Continuing to be a client, they can get the product.
So the product may not be enough to hold them on the path of being a consultant. All right? So what was their emotional reason for coming into the business?
I don't know. Emotional, financial was always, well, I want to get, consultants can always publish at 10%, and, this was a great deal. I can sign up this month for $50, and it's going up. It's like they want a bargain. They see a good deal, and maybe not emotionally at first.
Mm-hmm. So it is a material thing that was bringing them in. So here's what I'm going to say. What do you think would be different if you really had the conversation with them and found out their true emotional reason for being in the business? What would that do for their longevity, in your opinion?
I think it would solidify it.
Pretty accurate.
It would.
So that may have been a missing component to keep that high mental state that you talked about early on. The other thing is how often are you working with them once they become a consultant? How often do you have touch points with them?
I am available and talk with some of them even daily. Sometimes my husband says I don't put enough boundaries because I'm always available.
So let's just address that for a moment. So when you're always available, what does that say to that new consultant? Has some good and some not so good pieces to it. The good pieces are what?
Well, I'm going to support them. I'll be there to to help answer questions. I won't just be, signing them up and walking away.
Yeah, like dine and dash, right? So
right.
What would be the possibility for something that maybe isn't so positive?
They wouldn't rely on themselves.
And what are they thinking when they get to your level? How often are they going to be available for their team?
That becomes exhausting.
And do most people want to have a career where they're constantly on and exhausted?
No. No.
So,
and no, it leads to burnout.
So that's a message to be cognizant of. What is the message that you're sending your new people? What is the message that they're getting? How can you support them without being available 24/7?
Setting business hours and guidelines right from the get-go.
Excellent. Excellent. So is that something you're willing to do?
Oh, absolutely.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to doing that?
10.
And when will you do that?
Now.
Okay, so when we meet at reunion, I want you to walk up to me and say, Nicki, I'm the one that was on the call that, was kind of open 24/7, and this is what's happened since I made that shift.
Okay.
I want to hear from you. I'll be really excited. So here's the other piece of this thing, just to know. Your team may be in shell shock, but this is a big shift for them. So it's explaining what you're doing, and I'm giving you some training here, explaining what you're doing before you do it. So everyone, I know I have been available 24/7, and what I realized was that you all thought possibly that you had to do that if you were in the business and became a leader. So it wasn't serving you, and I made this adjustment to be the leader that others can follow. You put that out front, you'll have huge respect from your field.
Okay.
How's that feel?
Really good.
Good. Now you notice the difference.
Like it too.
Yes, you notice the difference from where we began. Your husband said to you, you need to set boundaries. You need to get control of your hours. And it wasn't received very well. What was the difference between the approach I used and what you need to do is this? What was the difference?
I don't know. I think I felt micromanaged. This was my business. It's what I do. And he comes home from work and says, you need to do this.
So when we tell people what to do, how might they feel?
Same way.
So here was the key distinction. How much did I tell you what to do?
You didn't.
So who discovered what you were willing to do?
I did.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah, absolutely.
The questions are the answer. The questions are the answer. How you ask the questions with no judgment, and then how you listen to what the people say so you know how to support them in making the shift that they choose to make. But I didn't use compassionate feedback because there wasn't a need for it in this one, but I did. Here are the expert questions, heart-centered listening, agreed action and accountability, and this is the fourth skill. Here's what I'm going to say about you, Kathleen. I can tell you are someone, when you make your mind up on something, you are unstoppable. You are definite, and you do whatever it takes. You're one of those people that has persistence, yet you do so gracefully. So thank you for being on the call with me.
Thank you very much.
So do we have another comment, question, or thought, or anybody that really saw what that looks like?
Great one here. This is good, and she's got her hand raised, so let's see if we can get her. This is Kelly Barquin from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, Kelly.
Kelly, are you there?
Kelly, I come to Atlanta all the time. I hope I get to meet you in Atlanta.
Yay. Okay, good. I'm using the speakers on my phone. Does that work?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. I love that last comment, by the way. I think I definitely. I'm sure I have some of my leaders on the phone right now saying, Kelly, that's so you. I'm available all the time. That's not good. So I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We need to change that. What I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I kind of feel like that I'm, like earlier you were talking about, you know, you have to set the example for your team and you just have to worry about your own thing, worry about what you're doing, worry about what you can control, right? So I've been doing that a ton lately. I feel like I was kind of dragging a lot of older consultants along, you know, and so I had the same feeling. Like I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to go do the work, you know, set the example for my team, and I've been doing that, you know, pretty consistently with the 10 and 2 and almost every month, but I'm still feeling I'm not seeing any movement from my leaders. Absolutely, they're doing the exact same thing I'm doing, but it's almost like it's just me and then those 2 directors and then the rest of them. It's like they're kind of, you know, I don't know how to get everybody else moving, you know. Focus on the new ones, or focus on the new ones, or still kind of try to get to the emotional why of the old ones. I don't know what to do. So.
Okay, so Kelly, let's take a step back, because I'm really big on words, and you're going to hear this more. So even in our event, I'm going to ask if it's okay if I can assist you in reframing a word that you use that may not be serving you. Oh. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
The word you use is that I said that you got to worry about what you've got control of, and you used worry, I think, 4 times in the first few seconds. So I'm going to tell you something I learned a long time ago. Worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair, and you rock and you rock and you rock and you go nowhere. Worrying is not a skill that you want to develop. So there's a different word on focus. Listen to the words. Worry about this, focus on this. How does that feel to you?
Yeah, of course, better.
Very different, okay? So that, just be conscious of that word, because worry is an emotional drain.
Right.
Okay. So now let's set that on the side, because I'm sorry, but I just can't let those things go, because if people say it, they say it a lot, other than on this call. And if we can break that pattern, you're going to get better results. So what I heard you say is that you've got some directors that are doing, and some other leaders that are really going after the 10 and 2 and making that happen, and then you've got some people that are sitting quietly. What do you think would be the reason that people would not be doing if they did before?
That's why I'm asking you. No, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've always kind of been setting the example, and I'm not sure. That's why I'm kind of at a standstill. I'm not really sure what happened. All this, it seems like almost in the last 6 months or so, they're kind of just like, you know, done, or they're just kind of at a standstill. And that's why I've just been focusing on helping all the new ones. So
how could you find out what's really going on?
Well, obviously ask them, right?
Mm-hmm. So if you had that conversation, it was just a few a week, what kind of insight do you think that would give you?
I mean, what's going on, obviously, in their life. But honestly, I'll be really frank with you, I've done that. Like, I just feel like it's always something. I've had the conversations. We did this little Path to Promote program where our best of our bests, supposedly were in that group, and we had a big training call each week, and then I called each of them for 30 minutes every single week, and we talked about what's going on and what.
Okay, so now, just for this moment, Kelly, because others are probably in the same boat because you only know so much information. Here's a difference that I want you to get, and this is just a training thing that will give you some advanced thought before you show up at the event. First of all, I heard you say you're calling them. When you coach people, they call you because it's their responsibility to show up.
Yeah, they do call me, actually. Sorry. They do have a time.
At a scheduled time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So they're calling you at a scheduled time.
Right.
What is the plan for that call? Are they filling out a pre-coaching call so you know what you're going to focus on, or is this just a conversation?
They're supposed to have done that, yes.
And if they don't do it, what happens?
I mean, honestly, they just don't call, and that's what happens. It's like we have these, requirements. I want to know these 3 things so that when you get on the call, we can kind of just go over these things. Because if not, we end up talking about their, kid's recent trip to the doctor or something forever. So we talk about supposedly these 3 things, but then I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe they didn't do any of those things. So they just, I mean, often they quit calling.
So
They'll
is it an
just.
accountability call or is it a coaching call?
I guess kind of both. Should those be separate?
Here's the thing, that when people, because I had a company I worked with in Australia a lot, and they called their accountability calls coaching calls,
Right.
which really screwed up the term coaching in their whole company because that's what people thought. So, because here's the thing, through coaching, they agree to the action they are willing to take, and they are accountable for that action. If they're calling to say, okay, I did so many workshops, I did this, I did that, and they didn't do it, of course they don't call. They don't want to feel guilty about that, but you still don't know the reason that it didn't happen. And so it's through coaching that you find out the reason for not making it happen. So that's where the meat is right here. Not that they didn't do it. Okay, they know how to do this. They're not doing it. What's happening? Now, we have people that do excuse, 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 excuse. That's not what this is about, so that you can find out what their excuses are. It's to get them to move to action with what they agree to do. So an example is, what are the 3 things that you're trying to get out of them right now? How many workshops? How many people did you talk to? Give me an idea.
Yeah, pretty much that. Just like basic information. And it doesn't have to be how many workshops necessarily. It's just what action, did you do the past week? I don't care if it's I gave a catalog to the lady who was doing my hair. Like I just want you to do something,
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't necessarily how many, new club members did you get. You have to get 5 this month. Like I'm not about that. Like if they do 3 clubs this month, great. Like I'd be ecstatic if they got 1 or 2. It is what it is. So you do what you can.
So Kelly, let's just do this. Can you be one of them for a minute?
Sure.
Okay, and you just called. So I'm gonna be the coach this time. I'm gonna be you. Okay. So Kelly, what was the best thing that happened in your business this week?
I just signed up a new consultant today.
Congratulations. That is exciting. So tell me how that felt when that happened.
Oh, it was awesome. Yes, it was so exciting. I'm really excited about her. I think she'll be great.
Oh, wonderful. So what are your plans with her for the next steps?
Do you want me to say for real or just pretend like I don't know what I'm
Be
doing?
one of those people. Be one of your team.
Oh, okay. So a new consultant was a little over the top.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really sure. Like, I haven't sponsored anybody in, 3 or 4 months, and I'm not really sure what to do with them. I thought maybe you might help them.
Mm-hmm.
I get that a lot, by the way.
Where do you think you would begin? What one thing could you do to make that person feel that they're part of the Heritage family?
Well, I know we have a really fun team Facebook group, so I'll invite them to that, and I'll, kind of invite them and let the whole team know about that, and, I'll invite them to our next team call, I was thinking, and then I'll probably go over to her house and, help her, show her how to use the studio, but, I'm not real great at selling club, so, I probably should work on that.
So now here, let me tell you, if I would have known this person, this is where I would have begun that. What would be the first step that you would take? What would be the second step that you take? Because see how she blended it all, and now it sounds like a whole lot of work. So the first step is you would invite her to the upcoming meeting. Excellent. That's a great place to have her get a feel for things. The second step was, what was your second step again?
I don't know. I would, show her how to use the studio so she feels she can do her first project.
So when do you plan on doing these 2 things? What is your date to get these 2 invitations out?
Oh, my date. Hadn't thought about that. Today I will send her an invitation to our next team meeting, team call. And then I'll call her today and find out when's a good time for us to get together to teach her how to use Studio.
Great. So you've got 2 big action steps to support this person in moving forward. How do you think that will affect her success?
Really good. Yeah, I think both those things, that, she gets kind of involved in our team, and that'll be good. And then if she knows how to use Studio, obviously that'll be good to make her first project so she can share it with others.
Great. So, first of all, I am really proud of you for enlarging your comfort zone a little bit and asking after you haven't asked for a while. You haven't invited somebody for a while. You did it. So, that I want to say congratulations for that. That took some courage, because I know you were a little discouraged before. Now you took your courage and invited her.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing is, I'm so excited to hear how this all goes. How will I know how this went, these conversations?
Would you like me to call you and let you know how it goes?
I'd be thrilled to hear from you. So when can let's set a time, because I think it'd be great, for us to do it. Would next Friday work for you? Does that sound like a good time?
Yeah, that sounds good. Give me about a week to get with her, and then I'll let you know how our little meeting went.
Okay, do you want to set that call for morning or afternoon?
Morning's good.
Around 10 o'clock, does that sound good?
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to block that time off in my calendar and commit it to you. Will you do the same?
Sure, absolutely.
So I've got it down, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Now, I know what everybody on this call is thinking, well, what happens when she doesn't call? We've all had it. You guys can read your mind, trust me on this one. So she may call, but if she doesn't, I'm going to call her after 10 minutes and say, Susie, we had a call scheduled for today at 10 o'clock, so I was very excited to hear how things went with your new recruit and your calls and your conversations and getting her to learn about Studio, et cetera. And I'm really excited to hear from you. And I blocked this time off in my calendar and committed that to you. And obviously something came up. So I have a full schedule today. Just text me and let me know how things go. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. If it didn't work or it did work, I'd like to hear from you. Now, all I'm doing is making her hold her commitments.
Right.
Now, she still might not text. It's telling me a lot about this person. I'm learning, okay? I may call one more time or text and say, I didn't hear from you. I just want to be sure you're still at the same place with committing to your newly sponsored person. If not, I'd just like to know so I can support them. In other words, honey, if you're not going to do what you say you're going to do, I gotta step in, and I'm not going to feel bad about that.
Right.
That doesn't mean to rescue her. It means to support the new recruit.
Right. So I guess, so the bottom line, that was great. Thank you. So as far as the coaching call versus the accountability call, that sounds, just the word, I think, sounds a lot better.
It's very different.
Yeah.
And do you notice, though, I'm going to say this, I want you to go back and rethink that, and if we recorded this, you'll be able to hear it again. Here's the thing to understand. In that process, it wasn't all about the accountability. She's the one that was sharing with me. All I did is build on what she said. But did you ever feel like it was pinning you to the wall that you didn't do enough?
Right. No.
And that's how sometimes they feel. It's even in the words when we don't say, oh, okay, because what you said you were going to do was do this, and obviously you didn't do that. What are you going to do? And even if they're voicing that judgment, they may feel it, and then they stop calling.
Right.
So we got to find wins. We got to find wins, baby wins. Sometimes I'll start a call off. What was your win for the week? What was the best thing that happened this week? What are you most proud of this week? What are you most excited about this week?
Okay.
Because otherwise you got negative Nellie that shows up and she's only going to tell you all the things that didn't work.
Okay. So that's really good advice, obviously, to go forward, right? Definitely with all the new ones. So how much more, quote, I know you don't like this word, but how much more hand-holding or dragging of old consultants should we do? Like, at what point are you good to go to move on?
At some point, after you've really done everything that you could, is to release. And when you release, it's, when you're ready for this business is ready for you, and so will I be. You just got to let me know. We're happy to have you as a customer. We're happy to have you using the product. That is exciting, and I know you can see that I've got a lot of people on the team, and my focus is in developing people. So just let me know when you're ready, and I'll be here.
Okay.
That's a nice way to release. Well, you're not doing anything, honey, so I really don't have time for you. It's not going to work.
Okay, so maybe this last little coaching session, and then if they're still not having any action, we can kind of move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
I hope that was helpful. Bye-bye.
Sure.
We have time for one more, I think. Anyone else?
All right, I do have one more, and let me get back to her little screen here. Oops. Okay, and this is, let's mute Kelly there. This is Joyce Young. Joyce,
Joyce?
can you hear
me? Can you hear me?
We can.
Hi, Joyce.
Oh, okay. All right. I raised my hand. I put my hand down, but I got called anyway.
That's okay.
I've sat down, and I can't get up.
That's okay, honey.
I've been doing this for 6 years. I'm very passionate about helping people make meaningful things with their pictures. I love pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I've signed up about 5 consultants, and I haven't been able to get any of them to do anything. And right now, I'm almost an empty nester, and so I'm trying to decide to do it or not. To keep doing it or not. I'm in the Midwest. There's nobody here doing it but me. I have a lot of clients, but no consultants and no other consultants around me. So if I'm going to be there, I'm going to have to be the one. And that's a lot of time, but I must be doing something wrong.
Okay, so first of all, let's release all of that stuff. Just take a breath.
Okay.
And just release all that stuff from the past. Because every day is a new beginning.
Okay.
Every day is a new beginning. And sometimes things that happen in our life doesn't mean we did something wrong. We just did it different. And again, we don't know what we don't know. So we got a fresh start from today going forward. So before we start, though, I want to give you a little reframe. What you said is, I have to. I have to. I have to. I'm going to ask you to reframe that word to I choose to.
Okay.
I choose to. The choice is a whole different weight to that word versus I have to. I need to, I should are very heavy, heavy words that we use that create shame. They're subtle, yet they can create shame.
Yes.
So I choose to, I expect to, I am. So when you first got started in this business, what worked for you?
I guess having workshops and signing, just having the workshops, I guess that was, and helping people individually with their books.
So workshops worked for you. And so how many workshops are you holding now?
None.
No. So we're not doing what worked. So I want you to think about this. Is it that the situation or the business is not working, or is it that you're just not doing what you did in the beginning?
It worked in the beginning, having workshops, but the last many I've had, I haven't, I'd have a workshop and only one person would show up, or I'd sign up people on Club and then can't get them together to come to DigiCrops, so I haven't had results that way.
So let's take one at a time, and we'll start with, you said you had workshops and one person will come. What do you think that's about, that only one person showed up? That one person showed up?
Well, maybe I didn't do my hostess coaching well enough.
And do you think that that could be a factor?
Yes.
So what
and
did
also
you learn
getting people
from
to come to workshops. It's hard to get people to come to workshops now.
And what makes you say that?
The economy, and I had an easier time to get them to come than I have, in the last 6 months.
Okay, so we're going to go back to that thoughts, the feelings, etc. So what you said to me was when you were doing workshops, it was working and you had people show.
Yes.
Now today your thoughts are that the economy is bad or that people aren't coming to workshops. So if that's your thoughts, how are your feelings about holding workshops?
Not good.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of action are you taking?
Well, the action I've been taking the last 3 months is, do I still want to keep doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So
you're not holding the workshop. So what are the results?
Nothing.
No results. So I'm going to ask you to think about this for a minute. First of all, this is a fact for everybody out there. The home party plan is growing astronomically worldwide. Fastest and the best results we have ever had in direct selling, and it's all coming out of Party Plan right now, which is your company. So when people say people aren't going to parties or workshops, I'm going to tell you that is not a fact. So but there may be a reason that they're not going to your workshop or the one that's being hosted by Susie. There could be reasons for that. And one of the things that I heard you say there was it may be that you're not hostess coaching. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
How much hostess coaching did you do with each of these hostesses in the last, say, 6 months?
I bring them a packet, and I think I could do better with the hostess
coaching. So if you invested a little more time up front in your hostess coaching and finding out who she's inviting and helping her with her wish list so she knows what she wants to get from the party, if you invested some time like that, what would happen to your results?
I would have better results.
Mm-hmm. And so how would you feel about your parties if you were having better results?
I would get excited.
Uh-huh. And if you were excited, what would your thoughts be about the party?
Positive.
Mm-hmm. You see how this ties together?
Yes.
So sometimes we say that parties just aren't working or workshops aren't working. What we don't realize was that back at the top of that little circle there with our thoughts were that people don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And that will affect our results.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes. And then what do I do with the clients? I have lots of clients that are not doing their projects, and I feel like I have to keep calling and encourage them to do because I hate to have them lose their points. I spend a lot of time on that. It doesn't make me any money or do it.
So here's the thing. How committed were they when they, joined the club and bought points? What was the project that they were most excited about?
Okay, so that's a good question to ask them.
Oh, gosh, yeah. What is the project you're most excited about? What makes that project exciting for you?
Okay.
Whose life would that make a difference in if you completed that project?
Okay. That's good.
How will that continue the legacy of your family if you finish that project? What is your deadline for completing that project? What is your finish line for completing that project? Is it Christmas? Is it birthday? Is it Valentine's Day? What is it, the date that you want to complete that so you have that very special gift that you created with your own hands?
That's
what
good.
Is that date? If we don't have any kind of a commitment from them, what happens? People buy based on emotion, but if there's no emotional tie to completing the project, they don't complete the project.
That's true. I've even given them away who have not completed the project.
Of course. See, if they had no skin in the game. So if you're giving it away, they had no skin in the game, plus they've never said what they were going to do with what you gave them.
Well, it was a wedding present, that kind of thing.
Okay, so even if it was a wedding present, what was the follow-up from that so that you got some sort of commitment from them?
That's good because I'm afraid of pushing people, so I don't have much of a follow-up except that I definitely
just wanted to share with you. At reunion, you are going to get over that fear of being pushy. It's a coaching skill. It takes about 10 minutes, and I will guarantee you that belief that you have around being pushy is going to be a whole different belief.
Okay.
You come to reunion, you will get it there. And at thousands of people, I had a crowd, 10,000 people in the audience. I had to stop letting the people come to the front. 5,000 people were out of their chairs and moving forward. And it was like, whoa, the stage is rocking. Everybody stop where you are. We're going to do it from where we are. Because here's the thing. The fear of being pushy stops you from being gracefully assertive and letting people decide for themselves.
Yeah.
So when you call because you care, put a little sticker on your phone. I call because I care. If you care enough about people, you won't let this heritage, this legacy, this emotional tool that you have die and never be brought to reality.
Okay.
How does that feel?
It feels good.
Yeah. Here's what I know about you. I can tell already. You care about people so much.
I do.
You are that loving spirit. You want to give. You want to give. And the thing is that sometimes we give just as far, and then, oh, I don't want to be pushy, so we pull back. And the gift that you gave in the first place doesn't become a reality for the other person.
Okay.
How does that set with you? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. That's good.
So let me ask you, between now and reunion, what will you do differently?
Okay. First of all, I got to try to get to reunion, but before that, I need to make calls and try to get things going. Make up my mind if I'm going to do it. And I feel like that I got chose to talk to you today. That is a sign that I am to continue doing this.
So the thing is, when you are indecisive and you don't know whether to go or to turn back, you are at a standstill.
Yes.
You're at a dead stop.
You're right. That's what I am.
And the only one that can begin that path, that walking again, is you. What would make you decide to walk down that path?
Just making up my mind, really.
And what will it take for you to make up your mind?
I just have to decide and say, yes, I'm going to keep going forward. I don't know what else it would take. I don't know. I guess if I made some phone calls and got some, positiveness, that would help, that would help the momentum, but I got to first make the phone calls, right?
So what's holding you back from making the phone calls?
Actually now, to be honest with you, laziness. Because once you stop, and I've stopped my momentum, it's hard to get up and do it.
So what's it going to take to make that first call?
The decision to make the first call. And since I'm doing this publicly, I will.
That's not, the reason for you is for you. What would be a reason for you to make that call?
The reason would be to really build this business and to bring in an income so that my husband can retire and so that I do have more of a purpose in my life.
Whoa, those are pretty good reasons. So how would you feel if you knew that the income you were bringing in could allow your husband that choice?
I'd feel very good.
And how would that affect how you feel about you?
It would affect the way I feel about myself in a big way.
You didn't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
You stayed the course.
Yes. Yeah.
How would your rest of your family see you if you just made this happen?
They would think they would be proud of me.
Pretty powerful reasons to pick up that phone.
Yes. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to making that call?
10.
And when will you make that first call?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. And when will you make your second call?
Monday morning.
And when will you make your third call?
Probably Monday morning.
So it sounds like you are in momentum.
Okay.
You know where you got in momentum? Is in your thoughts.
Yes, you're right.
I'm very proud of you. I look forward to meeting you at reunion. I'm hoping you'll come and just talk to me there and let me know, where are the wins? Where are the wins here? What is the baby one? And think about this. I don't know who your sponsor or your upline director is. Getting scheduled for some calls where you keep on this roll, because you may get a no in here. And just remember, that could be no, not now, or no, not ever.
Right.
Or there may be someone that knows someone that would be interested. No does not mean no you. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
So it's how do you handle that no to keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep a picture of what you think your retirement for your husband would look like. What would your life be like? Wouldn't it be fun if you could travel to all these events and the trips and things together?
Yeah.
Pretty powerful thing to envision. So you said to get your reunion, it's coming up with that. Here's the deal. We're going to extend, and you're going to be able to get that discounted rate. If you got 1 workshop, 2 workshops, 3 workshops, there's not going to be any challenge at all for you to show up at that event and to be there. Be 100%. Find a way, because this is going to breathe life back into you. You're going to have time to meet a lot of people that are going to share their best practices. They're going to share what they've learned. They're going to share. They're not there to fix you. They're there to empower you,
So you're saying there's a discount if you have 3 workshops? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, what I'm saying is that those workshops, you're going to have some profitability. You're going to have some money you can put back into it. You're going to have some momentum going. You're going to get some clubs started. All of that's going to help you to get some income coming in. And honestly, how will you feel? If you know you have income coming in, how will you feel about making that investment in yourself?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So that's the next step. So Patty, I'm going to turn it back to you so you can let them know about the dates. You're very welcome. Aloha.
That is great. For the dates for our next call.
The dates for reunion and the registration and all that, so we can make sure everybody is here.
That's awesome. I'm going to have a slide that I'll post in just a second about that. Nikki, we've had one repeated question come in over, and I was wondering if you can take just a few minutes to address it. It's actually one of the executives that asked you about it as well. And that is, our party plan is so different than others. It's not like candles or makeup or vitamins and things where you just hand it to them and such, and that makes it more difficult to book parties and to work our business. You're really familiar with the industry and all the different types of party plans out there. How does Heritage Makers fit into party plan and our industry?
Well, thank you so much for asking that question. So I want you to think about this. Everybody thinks that their company is different. Skincare companies think, oh, our company is so different because we have all these different types of skin, and that makes it hard. Or we have all these colors of skin, so color cosmetics is difficult. It's not that easy. Or maybe it's a nutrition company. Nutrition company says, well, you got to know all this about the science of the product. People think that they're healthy and they're not. You got to convince them to be healthy. Jewelry company. People think, wow, the economy's bad. People aren't going to spend money on jewelry. That's an extra. So that doesn't work. So every company really has a belief by many people, and it's a limiting belief, that our company is so different. Really, here's the thing. If there's a difference, it's that you haven't got a lot of competition out there. There's not another party plan doing the work that you're doing, the product that you're doing, at the quality you're doing it. That's the biggest difference. You guys have a unique proposition. There's 100 jewelry companies. There's 100 cosmetic companies. There's thousands of nutritional companies. There's thousands of juice companies. There's thousands of all those things. There's not a lot of companies doing what you're doing. That's the difference. Now, I want you to get this. We just reframed a thought that could be absolutely empowering to you and everybody in your organization. So we think that there's so much that we have to do so much to get people to do things. And I've heard this repeatedly in the organization. You're doing a lot of one-on-ones with teaching people how to use Studio and so on. In a heartbeat, if I was a leader in this company, I would do a webinar and take everybody through it at the same time. I would do a conference call and talk about it on a conference. Everything you can do to duplicate yourself. That's what we do in other companies. We duplicate ourselves, so it's not a lot of one-on-one other than coaching. So that's very personal. The rest is all group things that are duplicatable. If you're having to teach every person one-on-one, you can't build a big business. So find a way to do less one-on-one with, teaching them how to use the studio and get them onto a group call or a group webinar. There are free services, and if you need to know what they are, I can tell you. There are free services for small groups for webinars. It's actually through freeconferencecall.com. You can get a service that doesn't cost anything and do it. Or maybe all the leaders on this call take once a month, you are the person in charge of doing the whole systematic approach to teaching Studio on a webinar to everybody, and you guys rotate that. So then you're doing it once a month instead of every week. Find a way to duplicate yourself. See, leaders of leaders are duplicatable. Leaders of leaders have systems for duplication. So the thing you're different at, guys, is what you have to offer. You have something amazing to offer our world, to preserve the heritage of families. You can't bring it back. I look back and all my relatives are passing away. My mother, my father, all my grandparents, all my aunts, all my uncles are all gone. And we have nothing that is about our heritage that every grandchild could pull upon and draw upon. It's not there. So what would happen if you would have talked to somebody in my family about that when people were alive and we could get to pictures and we could get to their stories and, it's gone. That's something you've got that nobody else has, or at least nobody else is a big player in the game. There may be a few little companies, but I've never heard of them. You're the game in town. So remember, your difference is what makes you outstanding in the field. Patty, anything else?
No, well, yes, there's a whole list of questions, and what I'm going to tell all those people that didn't get their questions answered is to join us at Reunion, and you'll have access to Nicki. She's going to be doing our keynote speak on Saturday. It's about an hour and a half. She's doing a special session for leaders only. You must hold the title of director or above to attend that one, and she'll be training leaders of leaders, which you just talked about. And that is also on Saturday. It's the third workshop session. In addition to that, at Reunion, we have another guest speaker, which Nicki is very familiar with, and that's Karen Clark. And she speaks on online social media and how to use social media to build your business, as well as warn you or teach you to not let it interfere with your business. And she's just such a great speaker, as well as all of the new products, the new studio features that are coming out, and other great speakers. You'll have your executives and directors there that all have classes on workshops and sponsoring and building a business, and really just duplicating yourself and helping you to build that business. Just a reminder, the reunion is September 20th through the 23rd. It's in Midway, Utah. It is here in Utah. You'll be flying into Salt Lake. If you are not registered, registration is open through the website. You can go log into your virtual office and register there. We do still have the new consultant special, meaning that if they're a new consultant and joined us since last year's reunion, that they can attend for half price. And we're keeping that open until our next call, which Nicki's doing on Monday. She'll be doing a call just for new consultants. If you as a leader have a new consultant in your team that is not attending, get them on that call so they can hear Nicki and what she has to say and get excited about their business. I love, just to give you a sneak peek of what she's going to talk about, is why they should be there and how it's going to not only affect their business, but affect their family, their personal life. And that's what Heritage Makers' mission is. It's not just about the product, but it's also about building people and helping them change and affect those lives of their family and the people around them. Right after that new consultant call, about an hour later or half hour later, we have a company-wide call. Again, that will be open to anyone, not just new consultants, but any consultant. They can get on that call and, again, have a sample of what Nicki's going to present at Reunion and why they should be there. So if you have consultants on your team that are not attending and you want them there, make sure that they get on these calls. We'll leave the registration open until the Tuesday after Nicki's call, and then we'll need to close it so that we can get everything ordered and finalized. So it's push time now. It's a time to make a decision in your business of where you want to be and who you want to be there with you. So thank you so much, Nicki. I know that you are probably
we want to make sure they know it's not next
call.
Monday.
Yes.
August 27th.
Oh, thank you.
And the time for Mountain Time, what time was it again, Mountain?
It's at 11 o'clock is our new consultant call.
Okay.
And then our company-wide reunion call is at 12 o'clock Mountain Time. You can find that information in your virtual office as well as in our leadership Facebook page. It's been posted there. And we'll be sending out a reminder to all of our consultants to let them know about that. So
wonderful.
Great call,
I'm
Nicki.
excited.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye.